Well, joining me a short while ago was John Hinderaker of the terrific Powerline blog. He's also president of the think tank Centre for the American Experiment. John Hinderaker, thank you so much for your time. Now, I thought former Vice President Joe Biden was finished, but overnight you've had 14 states and a territory vote for their favourite Democrat candidate, and Biden has had big wins in most places, but not so much good luck in California. What's going on?
Yeah, Joe Biden, like you, Andrew, I thought his candidacy was dead. Just a few weeks ago, it was revived in South Carolina. Now there's a big Stop Bernie Sanders movement going on in the Democratic Party. A lot of senior leaders in that party are very worried about having a socialist as their presidential nominee. And you've seen Pete Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar both drop out of the race and endorse Joe Biden. So that's part of what's going on, is a lot of people are trying to stop Bernie Sanders. And Joe Biden did win most of the states that were contested today, but Sanders won several, including Colorado and Vermont and Utah, but most important, California. California has got a ton of delegates, I think over 400. And that's really Bernie Sanders' firewall. And with a strong performance in California tonight, Bernie Sanders has taken the lead in delegates selected so far. And so this is a race that could go right down to the wire, and we could go to a convention this summer with no candidate having a majority on the first ballot. That would be the first time that's happened in I don't know how many decades. Now, there are 14 states. There's also the territory of American Samoa. Now, there's a really comforting lesson here, I think, a moral lesson that money does not win elections, including even in America. You had multi-billionaire publisher Michael Bloomberg spent $500 million and so far has won just tiny American Samoa. Conclusion? Money is not as important as a lot of people think it is, Andrew. I mean, we saw that in 2016. Hillary Clinton outspent Donald Trump 4-1. And in this election cycle, Tom Steyer, another billionaire, has left the race, didn't get a single delegate, spent $150, $200 million, something like that. Now Michael Bloomberg comes along. He spent $500 million. He is nowhere tonight. I mean, he's not finishing in the money anywhere except American Samoa with its 5 delegates. And it's going to be really interesting to see whether Bloomberg stays in the race. He has vowed that he's in the race to stay. He's going to stay in through November. Some people think he's considering a third-party run. But, given how few votes he's gotten, you have to wonder. Well, I would say so. And that could only be even better news for Joe Biden, because if Michael Bloomberg is forced to drop out, having spent so much, incredibly so much money for so little results, then whatever attention he's been dragging from Biden, whatever votes he's been dragging from Biden, goes to Biden as well. I think it does, but there's another thing going on, Andrew, not to lose sight of. And, only a few weeks ago, we had this big debate stage full of Democratic candidates. Well, it's dwindled really rapidly. It looks like Elizabeth Warren has got to be on the way out. She finished 3rd in her home state of Massachusetts. I don't know that she can stay in the race. She's running very short of money. I think she's going to have to drop out, and presumably her votes are going to start going to Bernie Sanders. No, I think that's you're right to correct me there. But can you explain something else? I mean, not only are we getting, which I think is a wonderful message, that you can be one of the richest men in the world and it still won't win you even a Democrat nomination. What is going on in this sense? You've got the top 4 candidates in the Democrats are all aged 70 or over. The only one that isn't aged 70 that's left is Tulsi Gabbard, and she's got 1 delegate, and I mean, that's just a joke. But 70 or over, and they're fighting for the right to fight Donald Trump, who's 73 years old. What's going on? It's really interesting, and they're not just over 70. I think Sanders and Biden are like 78 or 79, both of them, almost 80. I don't know what's going on, Andrew. It's a great question. There were some younger candidates in the primaries on the Democratic side, and there were young candidates in 2016 on the Republican side, but the voters didn't vote for them. You know, the voters, for whatever reason, have been voting for the geriatric set. And you know, I think it is troubling because, frankly, Andrew, this is I don't want to be mean, and I'm not saying anything that a million other people haven't said. Joe Biden does not appear to be in full possession of his senses. You know, if he's not suffering from dementia, he's doing a pretty good imitation day after day after day. And a lot of people question whether he is in any kind of physical condition, number one, just to withstand the rigors of the full presidential campaign from now to November, but number two, to be able to serve if he were to be elected.
I think that's a genuine problem, and without wanting to be mean, that's a genuine problem.